Welcome to Carl DeGregorio's Session23. This may be a bit of an abbreviated one, or a little bit of a less jovial one. I am trying to ride above where it's at for me right now. I am coming to you from a place of injury. I have hurt myself. Accident on a flight of stairs and hurt my ankle. It wasn't the worst case scenario in my mind, which would have been like an Achilles type of thing. I guess I've been blessed to have never really hurt an ankle. So I guess spraining an ankle intensely, it could feel like you just wreck the joint. And that's what it felt like. So I was lucky enough to have it not be a tear of anything or a break of anything, but just in case you're wondering, I am on crutches for a moment. I have a walking boot on, and so I should be bouncing back and hopefully being able to wean off the crutches. So it reminds me of, all the times you say people use things as a crutch, and I guess that's true, but I don't know when you'd use a crutch physically without necessity. And so I am longing for the days where I don't need them, because it does slow down everything and it keeps your hands occupied, so I'm unable to carry shit. And thank God for cargo shorts and cargo pants. And I got a hoodie, a zipper hoodie with pockets is definitely the gear I'm rocking today. And I'm waiting on a shower chair which is why my hair is doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and why I am appearing like the 90s version of myself, although there'd be a Kangol logo on that. In the 90s, I rocked a Kangol for special occasions. I was not a knit hat wearing guy in New York winters. I didn't think that cap burglar knit cap look wasn't for me, but I'd always rock a Kangol. And if I was really into it enough, I'd have the one that had the ears folded in. And anyway, Kangols were the move. I kind of look like Kevin James vibe here now. I'm not really trying that for a look, but when I put it frontwards, you lose the eyes and it takes off my forehead. And anyway, this is the only artifact I really brought home from Italy. So I am rocking my Giuseppe hat, and I am waiting patiently for my shower chair to get myself more than a bird bath. Probably more than you need to hear about my life. And so what does this do to me, and what does this do to my show? And I have a 4-week convalescence. I hope not much more than that, but that's just for how long I'm going to be in the boot, and for how long it's going to be before I see a doctor again. So I'm probably doing this death session prematurely. I don't feel very motivated right now. I don't feel very chipper. And the idea that, with this open schedule of time and nothing to do but stew, I guess the conventional wisdom is, why not just write something, or if you're working on your one-man show, just start rewriting it or whatever. The sad truth is that I feel like that is harder to do for me at the moment, only because I have been struggling for the last week or so, just to stay focused, to stay my crossword habit is escaping me right now because of the concentration and the ability to get comfortable and hop around the apartment and things like that. So I don't want a bellyache, but it could be a lot worse, and I will have to find a silver lining, and I will have to stop leaning on my crutches, right? That is I guess that's the message. And I hate that I had to learn the lesson of if change is in the air, and change is imminent, or change is clamoring in your heart and soul, that if you don't do it yourself, life will assist you. I hope that isn't kind of what occurred here, but I have to take the lesson of maybe it was time to not so much slow down as far as activity, but to slow down in terms of racing and running against the clock and feeling like everything was a shot at the buzzer. You know, I think I did put a lot of pressure on my life, on myself. Everything, every audition, I tried to beat the time frame by hours and days, and everything was pressurized, and now I finally can't do it, certain things at the moment. Thankfully, it's my left foot, so I can drive. And so what do I do? Because sadly, I was at the point and feeling good about getting through the new year and feeling good about next steps for the show. We Carry the Light. And I don't think anything has to really stop it. It'll just be harder to get to that friend's house, or harder to get to that studio to do a reading. And maybe it gives me a little bit of a timeline. If I have 4 weeks till I see the doctor, then I have, 4 weeks to read this to somebody, to share this with somebody. I have 4 weeks to get my next step going. And next step, when I am unable to make footfalls myself, maybe that is the opportunity here. And I only share this and post this and do this just to keep the schedule. I was thinking to myself I'd belabor it, do it closer to when I post, because what else am I going to do anyway? Maybe I can double stack these, or give myself some kind of idea of expansion on the channel or whatever. But I am just really trying to keep this going and reassert that there are seldom excuses to not doing these things. And if I were being paid, or if I were an online personality, and or a television personality, if I had been cast in something, they would work around it, but they'd expect me there. So that is the ethic I am putting together today by showing up at the desk. Whether I feel like it or not, whether I have much to say or not, whether I am wearing a backward hat like I'm trying to be fly, and to show up for myself. It is easy, and it happened. I had a week, almost a week. I was at an ER Saturday, February 1st. I was at an ER, and it took 5-6 days to get to an orthopedic surgeon or doctor to get a look at me. So I was in hyper mode. I was only in a splint, and I was not able to put any weight on it, more out of concern to injure worse. And I think that's why I have felt a big sense of relief getting in the boot. Because it keeps me from hurting myself any further, and I can slowly put more weight on it, so I'm moving a little bit better. But I still need the crutches to get it all going, and that's a serious amount of injury, I suppose. I've dealt with this before in my high school years. I hurt my knees playing basketball, and got way too familiar with crutches at an early age. So this is a little bit of a feeling of been here before, and I certainly didn't like it then. So I've done my best over the years to avoid catastrophic injury. So I have to remember to count myself as lucky, and to count myself as resilient, and to know it'll be better in a few weeks. People have done worse and are back out there. And I am going to be on the high end of the possibilities because of how desperate I am to get back to normal, and how much I will work toward flexibility already. And I'm lucky that I don't have to sleep with it. And as I get ready for bed, I do the exercises, and it hurts. But like I said, people have suffered worse, will suffer worse, and this too shall pass. And again, I lean on these axioms because some of them carry wisdom, and there's really no other, certainly you can wallow in despair, and I've come this close to doing so. And I just have to remember all the work to get to this point, that if you clamor for mental health, or you clamor for a spiritual awakening, or clamor for a higher frequency or a higher vibration, or if you clamor for just being as high functioning as possible, whichever way you want to frame it. And if you're really about it and not just paying lip service to it, although this entire Death Session project is, if nothing, it's lip service. But at the same time, if you are meaning what you're saying, or trying to mean what you say, which is part of the faith effort to speak things into existence, you've heard that term, or to give words power, or to take back the power of words. So if I'm about some of the things I've said so far in the previous 22 episodes, if I was saying I was on an upswing in reflection to people who had some hard knocks that are close to me, and that I felt almost like a remorse or survivor's guilt of having things go my way, well, that turned around pretty quick. But if I am to be authentically speaking about progresses I've made in seeing the glass half full, then I these events, these crises, these injuries, the holidays, all these things that test most of our mental health, test most of our philosophies of how we're going to proceed through life. If it's been something you've been trying to overhaul, then, these last 7 days, 6 days, they're a test, and it's my final exam or my midterm. And if you're really integrating the work, that inner work you're doing, if you're really integrating it, then I guess this is where you find out if any of it's been taking effect, if any of it works, if you are doing anything that you say you're about. And I guess that's another good news scenario. It sucks. And I don't think that, the spiritual realm or the self-help realm or I don't think the key is to bliss out and to, I can't come here and tell you it's great. I fucked up my ankle and what a gift. I can't say that to you with a straight face. And I'm not mad at anything. It hurts, and I hurt myself, and I'm going to lose money and time, and I'm going to lose autonomy, and I'm going to lose a little mobility. So I can't tell you those are good things. And I think some of the blissed out new agey stuff is yeah, man, I'm not trying to tell you that. All I'm saying is if I can say that and then still come around the bend of I can get through it, I will have to. I mean, if you read someone's biography and it never says, a general of a veteran of the Second World War had a sprained ankle and it ruined his fucking life. You don't tell that story. So clearly, you can't let these things. You can't let these things, really derail you. And I've said before that we've had the fires, but I wasn't in the direct line of it. And I don't wish to be one of those people. And I am grateful I'm not. And yet I feel for people who are. And now it's my little ankle injury, but these aren't, I guess that's the acceptance of there's not a lot you can do. It's what you do when you get a shit sandwich, And, I don't know how to be productive this week, to be honest with you. And I don't know that I'll be productive in week 1 of the 4, because I don't think we're not counting the first week of limbo. And, But I have had auditions. I have had auditions, voiceover auditions, and I had to knock them out. And that's why I left this on my desk. It took I don't know how many steps. I have to really slowly trace my steps and plot out how to get things from point A to point B on crutches. And I did that. And one of the smart things was I left it on my desk in case something came up. And then it came up. And then if it was left on my desk in case something came up, which is hope and great, but this isn't something that I hope comes up. This is something I've committed to doing. So this could be, they said about Cheers or any of the classic sitcoms or any of the classic network shows, which are a dying breed, that when you had to do 22 episodes, that's a lot of episodes. So there was always a couple that were, they were just fluff. They weren't even fluff episodes. There'd always be that rewind of when they met and they do a dream sequence, or they'd do a highlight package, or they just would have this weird kind of clunker of an episode in the 22, which was like, they get stuck in a storeroom for a half an hour, or, they get snowed in, or just some of these things because they were just tapped out. They were just tapped out because of the onerous nature of 22 episodes of television. And now today everything's condensed, so each episode seems to be better, and we're forgetting that, that's freeing to have less episodes, because you get to really dip the tea bag a lot more, and you get more out of the tea bag, it might feel like in the history of this endeavor, I hope that 23 is not remembered as my worst ep. But I'm trying, as this is a sort of an accountability vlog. I showed up, and to the degree that you sit here and listen to me, vacillate and recount mundane injury news, to the degree that is interesting to anyone else, I don't know, and I hope I'm not wasting time. But just for this, however long I've been speaking, I haven't lost the step. So I guess that would be the message, that if I can keep up this pace, crutches or not, if I can stay on this course, then I haven't missed the step. And if I don't use this as an excuse to wallow, to FML, to, maybe I'll have time to get on the phone and find a place. And as I eventually, and I don't know, maybe in a week's time, I won't need the crutches anymore. I can walking boot my ass somewhere, bring my laptop, my binder, and read the script and start that journey without losing time. And then it gives me some reason to work harder in physical therapy for the dance routines I am now certainly going to have to add into the show to show off my healing and to show off my resilience. So thanks for sitting through what will be known as the hurt episode of the death session. But as long as I kept the faith and kept a pace and stayed in step, I'm going to be okay. So hopefully you will too. So I'll see you next week on the death sessions. Peace.